Well, I want to thank you for joining me for this little update. Boy, do we have a lot going on. Let me start first of all with racing. We're all excited here with our motocross team, Coy and everybody on the motocross side. We signed Davey Millsap to a contract to race for us next year. We're excited about that. He'll be matched with Justin Braden. And so we're looking forward to, we're in the off season right now. Davey will be here training. We're excited about that. So everybody out there that's a motocross fan, I think we're kind of excited about next year from a standpoint. Davey had 6 podiums last year. We think he has a chance to in the Supercross run for a championship, and he also will be running outdoors for us in the motocross venue. So we're excited about that. Nationwide, hey, we're at Dover. Awesome race for us. It looked like we're going to finish 1 and 2. Joey wins that one. Kyle gave it everything he had. Looked like he had a chance to win too. Both our cars are battling up front, which has happened a number of times this year. Kyle had won a bunch of those. Obviously, he has 11 wins over there, and Joey winds up on the last corner, the last lap, winds up winning the race. It was one of those deals where, hey, Joey and Kyle kind of get together some, and so it comes up again where teammates on the same team, but we're so competitive with each other. It's important to deal with those issues when they come up. We kind of talked that one over. So the good news is our cars are up front. The bad news is every now and then we wind up hitting each other. That's not good. But anyway, the nationwide side just keeps rolling. On the Cup side, you have Joey Logano is 20th in points right now. That is a huge deal for us in Home Depot. We need to move up farther. And we'd like to be way up in the teens with that car, hopefully 15th or 16th. That's our goal. And I think we can do that. Things are kind of bunched up there. It's about 100 points. And hopefully next year, Joey will be in this situation, but he'll be racing to either stay in the chase or get in the chase. So I think it's a great time for that team to work together and try and climb in the points. It's really important to us. Then we have Denny. Denny winds up right now, after our first 3 races, he's 8 points behind Jimmy Johnson. So they're really just like that. They both have won the most races this year. I think our 11 car, we're excited about that and having a chance to win the championship with Denny. Obviously, each and every week, we're kind of sitting there going, oh my gosh, you know, how tight it is, all the things that can happen to you at the racetrack. But then I want to focus on Kyle. And many of you probably saw what happened from a racing standpoint this weekend. Kyle, about 50 laps into the race, gets into the back of David Reutimann. We felt like that was a racing incident. In other words, many times you go into those corners, you're real tight, and you can pop somebody. In this case, Kyle wound up hitting David, turned him around, David Reutimann. We then come back later in the race. They go out of the race. They had 11 or 12 laps there to repair their car, think it over, come back in, and then went after us and spun us on the racetrack. And as a consequence, we fell all the way from probably going to wind up at the end of that day being 2nd or 3rd in points, all the way back to 7th. It put 80 points behind Jimmy Johnson in the race for the championship. Now, this is a huge incident for us. Think about this. And the thing I wanted to share with all of you out there, I go to the racetrack every weekend. Here's what happens to me. Maybe some of you out there that I'm talking to, the same type thing happens to you in your occupation or in your life. There may be some things going on in your life right now where you look out there and you go, oh my gosh, I get to the racetrack and I go, I can't control so many of these things. We can break apart. We could blow a motor. We could get spun on the racetrack is what happened this week. All the different things that can happen to you in a race, and it means so much to us. Having a chance to win a championship, having a chance to put either FedEx or Mars in the front of America, winning a championship and cup. So much is at stake, and yet so much of it's out of my control. So I tell you really what is the one thing that seems to help me when I get in situations like that. And the thought process is this. We know from the different times I've talked to you about the 5th chapter of Luke, if you're struggling in an occupational situation of any kind, I would say go study that chapter. Because really, what happens there, the fishermen have been out all night, they caught nothing. They come back in, God tells them to go, Jesus tells them to go out and put the net down the other side. They obeyed, and really what happened is they couldn't even pick the nets up. There were so many fish in them. Basically, the point there is what? If God's not in it, you have a chance of getting the big zero. I don't care how good you are or how well you're prepared. Okay, if that's the case though, the other thought process for me is, hopefully, as we prayerfully go to each and every race, we have a whole group here praying for our race teams as we go. We hope that and certainly want God involved with our race team. The second part of that, though, is all the things I can't control at the racetrack. I'm on the sideline, and I tell you what, I start getting nervous. I start getting uptight, and it bothers me. I even have a tough time sleeping many times before we go to the racetrack. Maybe some of you are that way. And the only thing that seems to relax me is this, is the fact is when I look out there, yeah, there's so many things can happen in racing. So many things can happen in your life you can't control. There is a peace of knowing God knows it's there. He's all-powerful, He's all-knowing, and He loves us beyond belief. He sacrificed His only Son for us. We have an all-powerful God that knows what's going on. So the only relaxing thing that I find at the racetrack is this. Hey, look, God, I can't control this. You know every single thing about this situation. Okay, I'm just going to put my trust in You. And it does allow me to relax some and to say, instead of getting so uptight about things. So the suggestion I have for anybody out there, you may be going through a similar situation I'm going through each and every week when I go to the racetrack. That peace is there for us. And so I think we just need to claim it and realize we have a loving God, knows everything about us, okay, is all-powerful, and we just have to more or less say, hey, God, this is going to be in Your hands today. I can't do anything else once I get to the racetrack. All those situations that can happen, I'm just trusting You. Now, maybe some of you, from an occupational standpoint, would like to have more information on your occupation, how God fits into that. Go to Oz Guinness's chapter in Game Plan for Life. Oz wrote a whole chapter there on how we should look at our occupation and how does God fit into that situation. So I just suggest you go to Game Plan for Life and study what Oz has to say there.